Yo, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another Madden 17 online ranked match game. Today, we have Bengals versus Bengals. Definitely not done intentionally right here. I took the Bengals because they're our team today for our 32 team preview series for the upcoming NFL season. My opponent also wanted to get a crack at Cincinnati, and we ended up with the same team in the same game. We'll just roll with the punches. That happens sometimes in online ranked matches. And now we will see what the Bengals have to work with. Well, not see, but discuss what the Bengals have to work with this season. And we start off at the quarterback position, where you have Andy Dalton healthy again. You guys remember last year, Dalton broke his thumb in that Steelers game. And before that, the Bengals were in position to maybe get a first-round bye. Dalton was having his career year, putting up great numbers, playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, rather than the guy who is just doing just enough for these guys. Obviously, you guys know what ended. The Bengals lost that overtime game, I believe it was, against the Broncos, where McCarron fumbled. They lose in the playoffs at the last second against Cincinnati. No Dalton against the Steelers. You had no Dalton in that one. They should have won the game, but the Jeremy Hill fumble and all of that. So you're bringing back a lot of the talent from last year. A couple of guys left, mainly receiving weapons, Mohamed Sanu and Marvin Jones, which could impact the passing game. But, they weren't really the best weapons anyways, and the Bengals did do, a little bang-up job trying to replace them. They got Brandon LaFell from the Patriots. They got the rookie Tyler Boyd, I believe his name is. They drafted him in the second round, hoping he could contribute this year, make an immediate impact. And if he does, that should fix the thing, fix everything for them. Tyler Eifert is banged up to start the year, but once he comes back, he is one of the best tight ends out there. Great, red zone target and just big body to throw the ball to. And then, of course, AJ Green is AJ Green. That 14 to 18 connection has been real ever since those two entered the league, and definitely should continue this year. And they'll have time to do it because the Bengals, as they have had for the past couple of years, have one of the best offensive lines. And a lot of that just has to do with the Bengals drafting great. And that's what the Bengals team is mainly about. They just draft so well, especially when you're not getting free agency players, big names to join the Cincinnati Bengals. You have to draft really well to stay as consistent as the Bengals have for as many years as they have. And that's what they've done. And they continue to do it. They drafted a few tackles last year, anticipating Andre Smith leaving. He did. And now they have, I'm not going to try to pronounce the guy who's projected, Cedric Ogbui, I believe, is projected to start at right tackle. And they drafted another one. I believe his name is Jake Fisher to play tackle. Obviously, Andrew Whitworth is still on the line. He's one of the best left tackles in the league. Bowling is still on there. The center position, they got Bodine, who's kind of a disaster. And then you got Zeitler, who's also good. So you got the guards position good. You're hoping the two tackle positions are good. Obviously, Whitworth's going to be really good, but the right tackle is still a question mark. So that should lead to a pretty good running game. Even though you lost Hugh Jackson and you lost Jay Gruden the past couple of years, offense could still be running smoothly. Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill still one of the better 1-2 running back duos in the league, even though Jeremy Hill had a little bit of a down year. You don't want to sleep on Jeremy Hill coming back and having a big year next year. And even if he doesn't, you got Giovanni Bernard, who isn't a top running back, but definitely a serviceable running back, especially in the passing game. So Bengals offense looking good, and that should lead to them knocking on the door of a playoff berth. Now, normally every single year, one of the wildcard spots in the AFC goes to a team in the AFC North because they have so many good teams between the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers all being good consistently year in and year out. Usually one of those two teams, if not both of those two teams, will take wildcard spots, and that's probably going to happen again this year. So I would think the Bengals will be in contention for one of those two positions, and defense, pretty big part of that, though. Their star players have to play like star players because there are some question marks on that defense. The star players, Geno Atkins, one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL, of Dansby, Maluga, Vontaze Burfict, who suspended to start the year. But then you have Carlos Dunlap on the line, and that's it. It's a little bit of a question mark at the linebacking position. They did draft a linebacker in the third round. We'll see how that works out. Cornerback position is where they made their first round draft pick this year in William Jackson III, and you're really hoping he contributes because Drake Kirkpatrick hasn't lived up to his draft status of being a first round pick. Adam Jones is getting old. You don't know how much longer you could depend on him to play at a high level. He played at a high level last year. It's hard to say you'll do it this year. You're hoping he does, but if anything, you're hoping Jackson comes in and contributes. And you lost Reggie Nelson, and that's tough because Reggie Nelson had a really good year last year. I believe he at least tied for the league in interceptions. He went to Oakland. The Bengals didn't really want to pay him. They have Sean Williams and George Iloka. You're hoping Sean Williams does good because Iloka is a good safety, not a great safety. as long as you have a decent duo there, it's just the one thing the Bengals really need is a pass rush, because Michael Johnson hasn't been good for a couple of years. You got Sims on the line, a couple of other guys. It's a little bit iffy, but at least they have one of the best linebacking cores in the NFL. I mean, every single team has a little bit of holes in their roster that you got to plug through and hope you can figure it out. But the Bengals haven't really gotten many big names on the defensive line in the draft or free agency the past couple of years. They've been drafting offensive line and cornerback and stuff like that lately with their big draft picks, and now receiver as well. So, like, not paying attention to that hole. We'll see how that works out for them. But like I said, I think they'll be able to compete. Health is probably a bigger concern for this team than most teams, because they're lacking a little bit of depth, especially at the quarterback position. McCarron played pretty decently, but definitely went Dalton because he played really well last year. And then the linebackers, you get one of those linebackers hurt, who knows what happens. But Carlos Dansby was a great addition in free agency, and that along with the other talent of this team should lead them to a playoff contention berth. I'm not going to say they'll make the playoffs, but I'll say they'll compete for the playoffs. So that's the game for this guy. He ends up quitting after we put up a nice lead on him and all that. And that's the recap of the Bengals. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for more, and I will catch you guys next time.